please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Welcome back again. Union Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad has launched a scathing attack on the Congress sitting out at the Manmohan Singh-led UPA government. He alleged that the 80-20 scheme that was introduced by the then Finance Minister P Chidambaram aided jewellers like Mehul, Choksi and Nirav Modi. The scheme essentially eased some of the curbs and allowed private agencies to import gold. It also mandated traders to export at least 20% of all the gold that they were importing while retaining 80% for domestic use. This is Ravi Shankar Prasad earlier in the day.
80-20 scheme was brought in August 2013 and was repealed a few months after they came to power because we realized its dangerous potentials. 16 मई 2014 को रिजल्ट निकलने के दिन उन्होंने 80-20 का बेनिफिट देते हुए 7 प्राइवेट कंपनियों को भी अपना आशीर्वाद दिया। उन 7 कंपनियों में गीतांजलि नाम की एक कंपनी थी और स्टार ज्वेलर्स नाम की एक कंपनी थी। मिस्टर चिदम्बरम बताएं और राहुल गांधी बताएं कि 16 मई को यह आदेश 80-20 के तहत 7 प्राइवेट कंपनी को बेनिफिट करने के लिए क्यों पास किए गए।
That's Ravi Shankar Prasad hitting out at the former Finance Minister P Chidambaram. But what exactly is the 80-20 gold scheme all about? And what does this allegation really mean? Lata Venkatesh joins in to take us through the sequence of events. Lata.
Without getting into who's guilty and who's not guilty, let me just explain the sequence of events that led to this 80-20 rule. You know, in end May 2013, the US Fed started tapering the quantitative easing. This taper tantrum led to a run on the Indian rupee. Why? Because we were importing a lot of gold, and therefore, I mean, that was one of the big reasons why there was a large current account deficit. So when this run on the rupee started and this fragile 5, all these things started happening, the Reserve Bank and the government even contemplated banning gold imports altogether, but that was not feasible because there was a large domestic industry and there were exporters as well. So in July 2013, the rule that government and Reserve Bank made was that you could, if you exported 20 tons of gold, you will be allowed to import 80 tons of gold. By and by, as the dollar crisis started receding, what happened was they said, if you have, we will allow you to import 80 tons of gold depending on your requirements before the taper tantrum, before April 2013. Depending on that, you are allowed to import 80 tons, but you have to export 20 tons of jewelry to be eligible for the next consignment of imports. By May 2014, what happened was, you know, until now, only the banks were allowed to do the import. Private parties were not allowed to import. Now, because there was a scarcity of gold due to these restrictions, gold in the domestic market, whoever got gold from the banks could sell it at $100 premium. That is, if the cost of gold in the global market was $1,300, you could sell it at $1,400. So there was almost an 8 to 10% premium that you made simply because you were eligible for gold from the banks. In May 2014, after the elections, what happened was RBI relaxed to say that not just banks, even star trading houses and premier trading houses, because they have a lot of exports, are allowed to import gold. This is where those who were, you know, people like Gitanjali could have got an advantage because they were allowed to directly import gold and they could sell it in the domestic market at a premium. But it was not only Gitanjali, it was a whole bunch of star trading houses and premier trading houses who became eligible to directly import gold. Finally, in November 2014, of course, this entire 80-20 scheme was abolished because there was no more pressure on the dollar. There was no current account kind of crisis. This is the background to the relaxation that came in May 2014.
Well, thanks very much, Lata, for explaining such a complicated issue so succinctly as always. Time for us to slip into another break here on India Business Hour. But when we return onto a special series as Mumbai's immediate neighbor Thane becomes smarter, we get you around ground report on the other side. Welcome back. Located 25 kilometers from the heart of Mumbai, Thane city has remained quiet, literally, in the island city's shadows. So it came as a pleasant surprise when Thane was chosen as a smart city ahead of capital cities like Bengaluru, Shimla and Thiruvananthapuram. But 2 years after it made the cut to receive 1,000 crore rupees of government funding to transform itself, has Thane got any smarter? As part of our special series, Smart Cities Report Card, Kevin Lee and Ashwini Priyolkar travelled to Thane to find out for themselves.
Home to almost 19 lakh people, Thane is India's 16th most populous city. It's best known for its suburban railway station, which sees over 6 lakh footfalls every day. It's no surprise then that when its citizens were asked what changes they'd like to see to make Thane a smart city, an overwhelming majority voted for the decongestion of the station. So the municipal corporation came up with this solution.
One is new suburban station and second is a multimodal transit hub at existing Thane station. As you have asked about new suburban station, this station will be constructed between Mulund and Thane. It will be just 1.34 kilometers away from Thane. And for this station, we have allocated around 289 crores through Smart City.
The existing station is also due for an overhaul in both looks and systems. The entire exercise will cost 845 crore rupees and is scheduled for completion by the end of 2018. But will it actually happen?
Thane station was set up in 1853. It's one of India's oldest railway stations and is long overdue for a makeover, which it will get under the Smart City program. However, in the 2 years since this makeover was announced, only small changes have been implemented at Thane station. There are a few CCTV cameras that have been set up, there are some Wi-Fi hotspots that have been set up, but no big ticket work has started as of yet. As for the new railway station between Thane and Mulund stations, that still remains a pipe dream, because forget about the groundbreaking, even the land has not been procured as of yet. But the municipality claims that land procurement is beyond its control.
The only issue with the government is about the handing over of the space for construction of the new Thane station. Roughly, it requires around 14 to 15 acres of land. This land belongs to Health Department of Government of Maharashtra.
But this does not mean nothing has happened on the ground in other parts of Thane. For instance, the beautification of two of Thane's popular lakes has been completed, with visitors being greeted with LED lights, illuminated fountains and benches. Parts of the city also have free public Wi-Fi, and some public schools have begun installing solar power panels on their roofs. A few public restrooms have also been renovated, and the city has rolled out a mobile application and a DigiCard that citizens can use to avail discounts on various government services. The development, however, is a little one-sided.
I'm standing in Kisan Nagar. This is a 70-acre area full of narrow lanes, dilapidated buildings and a lot of small shops. Now, Kisan Nagar is all set to get a 4,000 crore rupee makeover under the Smart City program. And while the municipality is confident of making this happen by 2020, the citizens are not.
बोल रहे हैं अभी 4-5 साल हो गए बोल के कभी बनेगा कोई आइडिया नहीं उसका।
एक्चुअली ये एरिया में पूरा सब इनलीगल बिल्डिंग है, अनधिकृत बांधकाम। वो होने का देख है कि इधर के पब्लिक का ये फायदा होगा कि सब लीगली हो जाएंगे।
मैं इधर 92 से यहाँ रहता हूँ। ये बिल्डिंग क्लस्टर प्लान का जो आया है, ये कब तक होगा, ये मेरे को जानना है।
With the government cracking the whip in the lead up to the 2019 elections, the municipality is confident that things will be dramatically different a year from now. But the harsh reality is that while several smaller exercises are being carried out, the big ticket renovations are still in the planning stage. So far, out of 30 proposed projects, work on 3 projects worth 2.2 crore rupees has been completed. On 19 other projects worth 830 crore rupees, work has either just started or is awaiting expressions of interest. That leaves projects worth 4,650 crore rupees that are still just blueprints. In Thane, with Ashwini Priyolkar, Kevin Lee.
All right, time for us to slip into another break. Up next is another exclusive engineering giant. Cummins is betting big on India, opens the second largest tech center in the world in Pune. A special report on that when we come back.
भारत में
Welcome back. The auto sector may have been shaken and rattled by the government's decisions regarding stricter emission norms and the flip-flop over electric mobility, but engineering giant Cummins sees these changes as an opportunity ripe for the plucking. CNBC TV's Yash Jain and Arundhati Ramanan report that this is where the company's recently inaugurated technology center in Pune, its largest outside the US, will play a key role.
This state-of-the-art technical center is Cummins' second largest facility in the world and its largest outside America. Built with an investment of approximately 1,500 crore rupees, this research hub can house 2,500 engineers and will be equipped with laboratories, engine testing cells and other engineering facilities. The 67,500 square meter facility in Pune will help Cummins consolidate its research and innovation operations as the company gears up to capitalize on the big changes in the Indian automotive industry.
We've invested over $1 billion in the last 5 years, and in fact more than $200 million in this center alone. The reason we wanted to do that is because we also see right now the industry is at a really important junction. We will be BS6 in April of 2020. And BS6 is the same emissions level the US is in and Europe is in. These are very exacting standards. So we needed to make sure we had world-class technical capability in India.
To ready itself for India's switch to BS6 engines, the technical center will feed into Cummins India's engine manufacturing operations based in Faltan in the nearby district of Satara.
We will be manufacturing all the key components, all the key subsystems, the engines, all here in India. So at our Faltan campus nearby, we've invested in manufacturing for engines, of course, but also for after-treatment, for fuel systems, for turbochargers, for filtration. So all these key subsystems now we'll make in India.
The transition of BS6 engines is not the only opportunity Cummins is keen to capitalize on.
We are launching a brand new electrified powertrain all the way, battery all the way through all the motors and systems for buses in Q4 2019. So not too far from now, a year and a half from now, we will be in production making electrified powertrain for buses. And then we will be ready with electrified powertrains, fuel cell-driven powertrains, when the market is ready for that.
But he says that India's decision to tax intellectual property is a big disincentive, given that its Indian R&D operations generate quite a bit of intellectual property that the company uses globally. With Yash Jain in Pune, in Mumbai, Arundhati Ramanan.
Well, that's the latest as far as Cummins and their plans in India goes. With that, we're going to wrap up this edition of India Business Hour. From all of us here, many thanks for watching. We'll be back, of course, tomorrow, same time. Good night.